Another successful dev is mad at Steam refunds. Uh, Look, there might be a point there, but still, grab me the world's smallest violin for a sec. Oh man, another developer or studio pissed off at Steam. Well, I guess it's just another Wednesday. So if you guys haven't heard, there's like a small story, going viral now on Twitter, but from a developer called Zoro Arts, who's basically a German developer that had made the game called Paddle 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 on Steam, which is like a $2, $5 game. So he came on Twitter to vent regarding Steam's 2 hours refund policy, because apparently he's having gamers basically finish the game in less than 2 hours and then refunding it. So on July 5th, this developer called Zero Arts, like I was talking about, came out and said on Twitter, "This should not be possible at Steam. Would be cool if you could finally do something about your refund policy. Got dozens of reviews like that and 20.1% refund rate, even though the reviews are 90% very positive. That's over 55,000 refunds, by the way. So anyone who's looking at this is gonna be, yeah, that's really unfair for the developers losing, well, 20% of their revenue because of the refund policy that Steam has. Now, I would argue that he has a point. That shouldn't be possible to finish a game in less than 2 hours and then you get a refund. That's basically someone stealing your own hard work. As soon as I saw this, I felt bad, first of all, to the developer. No shame for being frustrated. We all get frustrated from over this. But as I dug a little bit deeper regarding this whole subject, I realized that this guy is being disingenuous to a certain point. Because he said, like, he got dozens of reviews and he's like over 55,000 refunds. So 55,000 refund indicates that he had more than 50,000 people playing his game. And I go to his Steam charts and it peaked at 401. Now, I just wanna listen guys. I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't wanna be raging at this guy. I don't wanna defend Steam with everything. No, I really like this platform because it's very, very much consumer friendly and less for the developers. And I do agree that doing this kind of bullshit is basically abusing the refund policy. But at some point, we have to look at this very, very objectively here. It's just very, very weird for me that he just goes on Twitter and try to make this viral tweet just to talk against the refund policy, which everyone who's ever played on Steam loves that refund policy. And I am against abolishing the system or even tweaking it in any way, shape, or form, because it's doing its due diligence. It's making the player's life a lot better and trying to avoid scams, avoid games that basically are there just to take your money and run away. So that's what the policy is there for. Now, you're gonna come and to me and tell me, yeah, Moko, but it's not fair for the developer. This developer's losing money. First of all, he's not losing money. This dude is basically a Forbes 30 under 30 in Europe. He's 23 years old. That's one. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from his own profile. Secondly, he made the game way too short. He made it at least 2 hours. Now, in a lot of his tweets, he's claiming that no, my game is designed to be like more than 2 hours, and this whole thing is happening because of speedrunners. Well, okay, but that's an outlier, not people misusing it on purpose. A lot of other games have speedrunners that do actually finish the games in less than 2 hours and refund it. This phenomenon is apparent everywhere. It's not just you, man. So let's not blame the whole system because of a few bad apples, which honestly, they fucking suck, but it is what it is. That's one of the aspects of gaming and the gaming industry, unfortunately, and there's nothing we can do about it at this point. Maybe lock them down, maybe do an achievement, I don't know. Thirdly, speaking of achievements, he literally has an achievement in his game for finishing the game in less than 2 hours. How are you going to have an achievement like that in your game and then fucking bitch and moan on the internet that, oh, people are refunding my game because they finished it in 2 hours? If you don't like that, because you basically open the door for that to happen, and you have to have a security for your game to prevent that from happening in the first place. And I'm seeing a lot of argument online in between a lot of people saying, well, you know, this policy is really fucking over the developers. Developers are having a hard time, blah blah blah. Listen, it is what it is, but developers and studios and publishers have more leverage to fuck over a consumer more than a consumer can fuck over the developer. But if, let's say, me as a person who doesn't make that much money keeps getting scammed by video games, or buys a video game that's basically $60 or $70 and turns out it's a scam, then yeah, I'm fucking down $70. I'm hurt more than any studio or publisher will ever be hurt, you know? Either way, I digress. There has been some debate online between certain kind of people. You know, you have people saying that the game is a slop and he shouldn't be basically whining about it online, which I think this is a little bit too far. The guy made a fun game, a basic, very basic game, but in the end it's fun, it's cheap, it's, you know, do waste time with your friends and have fun. A lot of other people are talking about how this refund policy has a blind spot for the less of 2 hours and 14 days, and Valve still hasn't fixed it because it can be exploited. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't call it a blind spot, more as a way of bad apples to basically ruin the game for everyone else. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is sort of something you can't patch out, because either you're gonna fuck over your consumers, or you're gonna fuck over your developers or studios. I mean, there's no in between for this, and I would love to hear your opinions on it, because I honestly, I can't think of any other way we can circumvent it without harming either side. You know, there are gonna be developers that are gonna abuse it. There are gonna be consumers that are gonna abuse it. Both sides can abuse the system, and it's also it's more secure for the developer to make his game long enough for it to be 2 hours long. Maybe have a, I don't know, 20-30 minutes cutscene. Some games does it. Yeah, and that's basically what's been going on. And he's just, you know, being pissed off about having 20% of his revenue being refunded, which is not cool. It's not a nice feeling, but bro, just take the L and move on. You are 30 under 30 kind of Forbes dude. Like, why are you fucking complaining? You have money. Sure, you lost a little bit, but you still have a shit ton of money, and you're only 23, so fucking take the win and get the fuck out of here. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment below. Ciao for the next one. Bye bye.